guys, hello. Interesting introduction, I know. This right here is the BOSE Sound Dock portable digital system. It's PA. In other words, it does move around with a battery, so you guys probably know that if you know what you're dealing with. It comes with aux and a dock, as usual. This right here is the flip digital, so obviously it flips out like this. I popped off the mesh, which looks about like this. I popped it out, and it's sort of like a Velcro thing going on, along with some kind of like, right there, it just sort of tucks underneath the sides here, as you can see. Now underneath this, it's a bit different from the original sound dock, you know, the white thing that's much fatter, actually. So anyway, it's much different, the amp and stuff. So you sort of can, you know, pop the battery off with like some sort of a flathead screwdriver, and the rest is actually, wow, it's very, very, very light right now. These things are actually, I've actually opened this thing up once before. It opens up on the bottom, as you can see. There's how you get to the dock. But if you don't want to get to the dock and you want to just get to the amp, basically what you're going to do is you're going to use these screws. That one's not there. And they must be in again if you want it to sound and work properly, because air will just scream out of these vents. I've tried it before. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead, and there's only 4. Now, in order to get into this amp, you definitely need to get in to these 2 drivers over here. The 2 drivers actually surprised me last time I went in them. Oof. You know, that was the first time I've ever opened up any BOSE equipment, and I thought, that's the regular. You know, super duper tiny little output drivers. That's why I call them output drivers, because they are very small and thin and compactable, and they just fit in there really, really easily, which makes it so that it can be thin and more portable. Now, oh crap, you know, you gotta be careful about this, because it being open, I'm probably going a little too fast for this. Don't rush it. You do not want to end up hurting your speakers. That'd be a shame. That'd be a real shame. You want to go ahead and pop it on out. So these guys, as you can see, are very small. These guys are very, very tiny, and they do a very, very good job at putting out bass. So now we have all 4 of these at the top out, and one of them at least out. You can go ahead and reach in there, and this right here is your sort of your handle. By the way, you want to usually work with this when, oh, actually, you need both out. I remember now. Both need to be out. If both are not out, well, at least 2 screws. 2 screws on this side need to be out, because they do connect to the inner frame. But as soon as you pop out these 2 over here, I believe now we can lift it up. So you don't need to take both drivers out, I don't think. So as you can see, we pop in right here to this guy. Again, I've done this with a small bit of experience. Don't count on me to be like a BOSE assistant or anything. This right here is actually a really nice display in here. So yeah, it's sort of like an amp. Connects to the dock. I was expecting this to be a small bit easier to show you guys, and now stuff's going a bit of places. I'm going to have to clean up. So over here we have sort of like a stairway ribbon cord to go to the touch wires. Over here we have 2 over there we have 2 ribbon cords that go towards the sound or the dock, I mean. Over here is the sound fixture. Right here we have the amp. Over here we have a gigantic capacitor. Sorry. Yeah, overall this is a really cool piece of equipment. If you're going to take it apart, you definitely need a set that looks about like, well, I mean, I don't have it here, but it has the star type. This right here is not the best set. I mean, you probably could buy a better one. Because it kind of has a few issues. Over here we have the BOSE BOSE build sound thing. The contraption is kind of weird, in my opinion. I don't like how it's not as loud as one of these tiny drivers, even though it looks so much bigger. Like, look at that. Look at that on the other side. That right there is like a freaking Hulk of a magnet. And what does it do? Oh, doesn't put up much bass, that's for sure. And I'm like, what? There's got to be some sort of, like, restriction. Because, again, it is for, like, kids 8 and up or something. Definitely no BOSE professional status going on here with this thing. It looks like the same design until you look on the back. Gigantic, big battery. I mean, not battery. Oh, my gosh. Electric magnet. And then right here, we have some sort of, like, inner dish, I'd say. I don't know what they were going for there. I don't know if it does anything, but, you know, I'm going to prefer the nose, that's for sure, from you, BOSE. Up here in the front, looks like we have some sort of, like, sensor along with a bulb, a LED bulb. The LED bulb does indeed show when you're turning the music up or down. It shows when it's maxed out in volume. It shows when it's charging, when it's almost fully charged, and when, you know, it has issues, it will shine a great red. Again, the great red is been happening a lot to me because I bought my adapter on eBay. Yeah, it was broken when it came to me, but apparently worked 50-50 until it worked 30-50. Wait, 30-70. So then I had to repair it, and I did. So, and it works now. So, anyway, this thing does a really good job at putting out bass, and it does a really good job at doing everything that I wish for it to do. Overall, I'm going to say it is a pretty big heifer. It puts out so much sound, and you know what? I'd say if it weren't for its size, it would have less of a nice sound and less bass. Reason for, I have no idea. You know, BOSE designed this really well. 2 words for you. Great job. Good job, BOSE. You did this right. Plenty of bass. If I were to say anything, you should add in another driver if you possibly could, but then, of course, money would go up and everything. So maybe you should make a Sound Dock 3 or 4. What is this? 4? 4. Series 4 for that. So anyway, overall, this thing is pretty easy to take apart and pretty easy to take a look at. In order to figure out any dead issues with it, you definitely need to use a power meter. It would look along the lines of this. You know, let's just check it out. You use those on batteries and everything, but instead you figure out the charge. It's pretty easy to get in here. I get in here even without well, you know, this part needs screwdrivers. But to get into the amp, I mean, anyway, the mesh works out fine. Everything's very sturdy. So, good job, BOSE. These things are pros. And, leave that with you guys. And maybe you guys found this video helpful. Again, it's a pretty big box in there. I don't know much of what happens in there, but it's pretty decent. It looks like they almost tried to make it so there's a battery shaft in here, but I guess they didn't. So anyway, thank you guys for checking out this video. This right here is the Sound Dock. Hope it helped. And BOSE beats all speakers that I know of, so thank you.